Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the Midweek War, or insert Spanish race card Jesus says here, but he's not here today. All right, it is Thursday. It's Lucha Underground time. I'm Mad Mike, and with me is my lovely assistant, the voice of Inspire Pro Wrestling, Eamon Paton. How are you, sir?
I am fantastic, Mad Mike, because it's Lucha Underground time, and that's always a fantastic time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we should normally save this to like the closer. We always do Impact last, and we always kind of dread it. Now Lucha's kind of third, and it's good. It's good. We're not dreading things right now. So Eamon, ¿cuál es tu una palabra for Lucha Underground this week?
God, my word for Lucha Underground was fire. And Drago is not on this show, but this show was hot fire.
My word for this show is the same in English as it is in Spanish. Pizza.
Okay. People were telling me about this. I had no idea about this, by the way. Yes. But I agree completely. And
yes, I didn't know what this was until you actually mentioned it in our Facebook group chat. But I damn sure reacted to it live watching the show. I didn't know what it was. I needed to find out immediately, and thankfully the internet told me. So, Eamon,
it's quite a beautiful thing.
¿Cuál es tu bueno this week? I think you're gonna steal.
Is it safe to say that main event, though?
Yeah, I think so. All right,
pretty fucking great.
Yeah, the main event was the second unlikely trio of Johnny Mundo, Taya, and the Machine Man they call Cage versus I'm gonna call them the Lucha Power Rangers because they all wear different colors, they all represent different animals. They do. Am I wrong?
The world-renowned mysterious animal from.
Well, no, he's got like a bird of prey on his mask.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah.
Trust me, it's an apt comparison. Rey Mysterio, Prince Puma, and El Dragon Azteca. Holy shit!
Yeah.
Holy shit! I'll be honest. I was looking at my computer screen when I was live tweeting this, and for about 2 minutes, I was like listening to the match and listening to the commentary, and then I just stopped typing and I just started watching, and I was sitting like this against my screen, like, yeah. Hey man, how'd you feel watching that main event?
I felt amazing. I told you afterwards. There were literally parts, and this is what I love about Lucha, is that it gives me that kind of emotional feeling. There were parts where I was literally threw my hands up in the air and audibly yelled, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Like out of complete impulse because of what was happening. Like, and not a lot of wrestling can do that to me. And it was seriously spectacular. We know a lot of the competitors in that match are already phenomenal. Holy shit, is El Dragon Azteca Jr. amazing. Taya did amazing in this match as well. Like, I really loved her stuff in this. I love the whole story they told. I really love the promo in the beginning with Johnny and Taya and Cage in Dario's office. I really like that they sold the fact of that Son of Havoc, Evil Eason, and Helico won last year, being a trio scene that was thrown together. So I love that it gives kind of a legitimacy to Dario putting together these unlikely teams, because it's honestly like, hey, maybe this will work. Maybe I can get some gold here, out of this. So I love that aspect of it. That finishing sequence was just like, that last 5 minutes of that main event was insane. They did the assisted Hurricane Rana by Dragon Azteca, and then I think Puma hit like a 450, and I was like, oh, that's the end of the match. And then I think it was Mundo. He kicked out.
Yeah.
And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And then they wrestled for another 5 minutes.
See, as much as I want people to watch Lucha live when it airs. I think I almost enjoy it more watching it on DVR. Because my logical brain, if I'm watching the show live, I know how long the show is roughly. I know when it's going to end.
That's a good point.
When I'm on DVR, after I fast forward through the commercials, I don't look down at how much the time code has left. That's what makes it fun.
I will say, I think Lucha has developed a really good thing where I know we always like the end credit scenes because it reminds you of like, an end credit scene of like a movie, but it also I think helps with that. It helps with that time aspect.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because the matches aren't always going to end right at the end of the hour.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like a lot of shows do that now too. Like a lot of the superhero TV shows, they'll put little end stingers on, so when you think it's the end, it's not really the end.
It's a great strategy, I feel. And yeah, I like when that 450 happened, like it was my head, I was like, oh, that's the finish, and didn't even look at the time. And when he kicked out, I was like, wait, they're gonna do more than this, and they just went off the wall. Like, I think my favorite spot was besides the other spot.
Was it the pizza DDT? The pizza DDT?
That was obviously. That was the move that made me jump up.
All right, for any of you who don't know what we're talking about, and if you don't, that means you're not watching Lucha Underground. If you're not, why not? Shame. Shame. If I had a bell, I'd be ringing it. Shame. But there's a spot where Dragon Azteca gets literally tossed like a pizza.
Oh, well, it's like a tilt. Okay, people have seen tilt-a-whirl DDTs before. It's a thing that, guy kind of flips around. It's a cool little move. He's basically Johnny hooks him up in the tilt-a-whirl, throws him up to the point where they're not touching at one point. Like Dragon Azteca is in the air, and Mundo is just like has nobody on him.
Like Dragon Azteca does the tilt-a-whirl without holding on to anyone.
Yeah,
basically that's what it is.
And then as he's coming down, catches him perfectly in the spinning DDT. Like it's so amazing, and it's. I believe the reason it's called the pizza DDT by people on the internet is because it looks like you're kind of
tossing pizza dough. You're tossing pizza dough. That's exactly what it is. And Dragon Azteca is the pizza dough.
It's pretty spectacular. That move was the move that made me jump out and go, "What the fuck is happening?" My other favorite thing that from the match was. When they were on the outside and Mysterio did the whole pull the ropes up thing, that dive by Puma, where he just like threw himself. Like it wasn't like a clean, like, oh, I'm gonna do a suicide dive. I'm like, I'm just gonna throw my body at you. Yeah. Like it was so great.
And then like he lifted up the ropes for Puma and then he ducked down for Dragon Azteca, right?
Yeah.
Like that was just such good teamwork. And my favorite thing, and this is probably why I like this match more than I like the trios match last week, there was very obvious dissension between Johnny, Taya, and Cage, like to the point where they assaulted each other a few times. And
I love that Cage was like, I'm just gonna powerbomb Puma into Taya at one point. Like
it was really good. Like it was just so much fun. And it shows why Angelico, Havoc, and Ivelisse worked, but why these three didn't. Yeah. Because in theory, they kind of have a similar angle going.
Yeah, and they're all three of the people in that stable are like a certain level of egomaniacs, to where like they are, Son of Havoc and Angelico and Ivelisse eventually got to this point where like they kind of grew as people to where they were able to team together. These three are just the biggest pricks in the world. So it works that they have this hatred for each other that they're not going to put aside to, they're definitely going to try to win, but they're not going to, they don't care about forming a bond. You know what I mean?
All right. So let's get to my good. My good is DarioEyeRoll.gif. There's a scene that we alluded to earlier with Cage, Mundo, and Taya in Dario Cueto's office, and he's telling them that they're going to team up. It's so good because Mundo, Taya, and Dario are all the biggest assholes.
Yeah.
And Cage is there trying to be a professional wrestler. He's trying to hit all of his spots, all of his talking points. And he's like, I don't care because I'm a man. And they finish his catchphrase for him in the most dismissive, like jerking off fashion.
Dario just going, yeah,
you're a machine. So fucking good. Dario Cueto is the modern heel GM.
Yeah.
He is. This is just the way you do it now. There's the authority. That shit is over with. Dario Cueto is the new golden standard.
Mm-hmm. I also really loved when he introduced himself to Taya, and then she's just like,
yes.
Her reaction was like, yeah, whatever. And his the annoyance on his face.
He looked shunned. Like, don't you know who I am? Like it says, I'm kind of a big deal right here.
It's pretty fantastic. Yeah, it was so good. So good. It was all the backstage segments I think did a really great job. But again, it's Lucha Underground. But they all did an amazing job this week.
All right. So what will be your bad this week? I mean, not every show is perfect. We always have qualms.
God, I don't know. I really can't name a bad. No, actually, no. The closest thing to my bad it's something I would change. I'm going to skip a bad because I can't. The only thing closest nitpicky thing I can think of would be a change.
Okay, all right. Well, I have a bad. The Black Lotus segment.
Really?
Yeah. Honestly, it didn't work for me.
Oh, I think
it didn't work. I don't know if it's because we haven't seen her in a long time, or I don't know. Like, I know Dragon Azteca is trying to play the naive kid and everything, but it's a little, I don't know.
I think
it seems kind of very soap opera-y. Like a little too telenovela.
I guess. I mean, I thought it was a good wrinkle into the whole storyline of the fact that you don't know what side she's playing on. She's acting as if that she's being a double agent and being in with Dario in order to kind of get revenge for her and El Dragon Azteca Jr. But she also lies to El Dragon Azteca and says that he was the one that killed the original El Dragon Azteca, which isn't true because she killed him.
Yeah.
So you don't know if she's being truthful. You don't know if she's actually with Dario and not just doing it so that she can get information or get some way to get revenge on him. I thought it was the first thing that provided a great deal of depth to her character in season 2, because we got a lot of her stuff in season 1.
Okay, that's fair.
And in season 2 we've gotten scenes with her obviously in season 2, but it's the stuff with Matanza
and with Cueto. She was more of an afterthought. She wasn't
right.
Focused.
It was great to kind of get back to her story and kind of add that element of things into this whole stuff with Dario.
Okay, I mean it's just she's the least exciting part of that whole storyline in my opinion.
Okay.
Because I feel like it's gotten lost. I mean, I'm sure the show will pick it back up. Whenever I have a qualm about something, they usually pick it back up pretty quick.
Yeah.
But it's just this segment didn't really hit. I wouldn't have minded maybe Dario talking to her hey, go talk to the kid. Something like that, to really play up where you don't know what side she's playing on. Because to me, it doesn't even seem like she's trying to be a double agent. It seems like she's just with Dario.
Well, it's not even a case of it seems like she's with Dario, but the case she does have. You have to imply. I have a sense that she's a bit of could be a double agent because of all the shit. The reason she's at the temple in the first place was to get revenge on Dario. You know what I mean? I think there's a level of maybe not even double agent, but almost in a case of she's kind of lost her focus on what she wants to do. Maybe you know what I mean? She's kind of more out for survival right now as opposed to getting revenge. Like I said, this is a thing that I think can go many different ways.
Yeah,
And
I mean, it just it just didn't land for me. I mean, that's it wasn't a bad segment. It just didn't land.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I just love it also because I feel like there's going to be some part this season where the whole Dario, Dragon Azteca, Black Lotus, and the undercover cop stuff comes interweaves, and I'm very excited for that.
Now, if it turns out Black Lotus is like another undercover cop, like deep cover, and they were sent in to retrieve her, that would be fucking amazing.
That could be really cool.
That would be fucking because a cop gets sent in, but she's too deep, so we have to send in another retrieval team. Like that would be fucking amazing, and I would love that shit.
Yeah,
I don't think we're doing that, but with this show, you never know.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you said you had a change. What will be your changes?
Yeah, and it's a very nitpicky change, but it's just something I kind of thought of. I liked Killshot's match a lot, and I really, really enjoyed it. I didn't know about the finish. I feel like he should have a strike as his finish.
Yeah, I can see it.
Like some kind of big kick or some kind of just from the whole idea.
I don't know why he doesn't use that double stomp.
Or the double stomp. Yeah.
That double stomp, that's he should stand up there, take aim, like he's got a sniper rifle, and just boom right in the eyes.
And I mean, the finisher he uses is great too. It's kind of almost a play on Kenny Omega's finisher, the One Wing Angel. But yeah, I feel like for the whole idea of him being kill shot, some kind of big stomp or kick or something
like a shotgun kick
along those lines, I think would really just add to that character. I still really love the match though, and was very happy with it.
Yeah. My change this week, and I normally like when Lucha Underground does this, but I think in this case it was kind of a miscue. In the Tejano Daga match for the medallion, I think they should have given it to Daga.
Okay.
I think they should have, only because Daga is he's an unknown. To a lot of people. It's not like you're bringing in Justin Gabriel or
Joey Ryan.
Joey Ryan, yeah, or Joey Ryan, or someone that people in America know. I have no idea who Daga is, and while I like the match,
I didn't know who he was at all either.
Yeah, I mean, and they're building him up like he was this really, really big deal. Maybe let him win.
I guess I think they did a good job in the match of telling the story. The whole fact that they were telling that him and Tejano have teamed in the past, which I think allowed somebody who was a veteran like Tejano to get the win, and it gives Daga a way out. Because Daga, as talented as he came off, he also came off very young. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think when you're in there with somebody as experienced and as kind of renowned as Tejano, the longest reigning AAA mega champion, kind of level.
Right.
I can understand them giving the win to Tejano. I was very impressed by Daga. I'll say, I've never seen him wrestle before.
Yeah,
I looked him up.
I hadn't even heard of it. I don't look people up because this just goes to everyone. If you look up someone in Lucha Underground on Wikipedia, you will get spoiled.
You will get spoiled.
Do not do it. Do not do it.
Yeah, I was very careful when it because I know he seemed like a guy who was a character. He was the same character that he was in AAA, so I felt kind of safe in that regards. I think he was, from what I saw, he was in the stable of Perez Del Mal, which was the stable with Paraguayo Jr. Okay. So and like I said, had no idea who he was, but he was very impressive. And I thought this was actually Tejano's best match since his matches with El Patron.
Yeah, I'll say that too. I kind of wish it was Chavo doing this match.
That would be cool.
Because it makes Daga seem like a heel, and I don't think that's what they're going for.
I got the sense from his backstage thing with Dario that he was he had this level of cockiness.
Yeah, but I mean that's pretty much everyone who talks to Dario.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would have to know more about his kind of story. I know Perez Del Mal and AAA was the top heel stable kind of. So like I can see him being a heel. But I will say this: I was very impressed. Like it's hard sometimes to like really get wowed by like a wrestler that you're seeing for the first time. And I was very into his wrestling. I thought he did really well, and I think he'll be a good addition. Because I feel like it's nice to have a mix of like the supernatural characters that we get in Lucha Underground and the wild characters, and then actual like kind of Mexican talent. Not to say that Aerostar and Drago is not Mexican talent, obviously, but like talents that are like
it's like a superhero comic. You need a lot of guys with powers, and you need guys without powers, and just have gimmicks.
Yeah. It's good to have that variety, I feel.
Yeah. All right. So, Eamon, where'd you rank Lucha Underground this week? I'm pretty. This will be a shock to everyone coming.
Oh, I'm gonna hold on to your butts, kids. It's number one. Like even if the first half of the show was shit, that main event, fucking amazing. Like that would have sold this show alone. Like, but even the fact that there was so much other good stuff on the show as well. I also like. I really love the Mil Muertes backstage promo. Just how like, not goof. I don't know. It wasn't goofy, but it was like over the top. Like him behind the throne, the Disciples of Death like rising behind Katrina. Like, just the visual of it was so like. This is why I love Lucha Underground.
Although
like,
I think that segment was put in the wrong time.
Yeah,
because we had a segment where Mil like took down the Disciples of Death and like basically sucked out their essence, but the Disciples of Death wrestled for the trios title after that before they were brought back. So I think there might have been. Well, I don't. Maybe a little bit.
Maybe we're. I read that as maybe we were wrong in deciphering that that segment where Mil attacks them. Like maybe he didn't kill them. Like he just
punished them.
He punished them, and the way they kind of like
okay.
The way it's the way they kind of work. I guess the Disciples of Death, and then how Katrina controls them. I think is interesting. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
okay, yeah, I mean, it could have just been Avor. It could have just been us, wanting more deaths in professional wrestling.
Right, yeah. I mean, we're accustomed, like, we know, like, death can happen on the show, so it wasn't... It wasn't hard to think that, like, he had just killed them, so...
Oh, yeah, a bunch of people get murdered on this show. A whole bunch. The death toll has risen significantly.
I thought it was... I really love that, though, because for some reason, I had assumed that going into this, the trios tournament was only going to be 4 teams.
Oh yeah, because when they announced 4 teams last year, right?
Well, actually, now that I think about it, I think it was 6 teams because we had that 3-way final.
Three-way final?
Remember, because it was the Unlikely Trio. It was Cage, Tejano, and King Cuerno, and it was Big Rick's team.
That's right, yeah, and the crew.
Yeah, or and not the crew, but them, but him, the Mac, and Killshot. And then the crew had the match with them afterwards.
Oh, okay, yeah. You're exactly right. Okay, yeah, so yeah, there must have only been 6 teams last year, but who knows? We might only be getting 6 again this year.
Yeah.
It makes sense because then the trios gets down to a 3-way tag.
Yeah, it was just some reason, like in my head, I thought it was only going to be the 4 teams, and we're going to get the finals with the Puma's team and Joey Ryan's team. But when they announced that the Disciples were going to be in the tournament, I was like, oh shit, we're going to get another team. Like,
who do you think the Disciples are going to be facing?
I think that's where
you want to take bets on this.
I think. Here's the thing. I think it's going to be some combination of Drago, Aerostar, PJ Black, or Jack Evans. Like, I think it's going to be one of those, like, unlikely trios that Dario puts together.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking, too.
So it's going to be either Drago, Aerostar with PJ or Jack, or Jack and PJ with either Drago or Aerostar.
Or you could do, like, Drago, Aerostar, and Argenis, or the Mighty Bengala.
That'd be great, too. Or Masquerade Sagrada. Like, why not?
I mean, who would see Masquerade Sagrada back?
He's gonna get fame.
He's going to get fame, y'all. He's going to get fame. All right. Lucha's obviously number 1 for me, too. Just solid up and down show this week, and that main event was fucking stellar. All right, so Eamon, where can the good people of the internet find you?
You can go find me on Twitter at Eamon2, please. You can also check out the company that I work for, which is Inspire Pro Wrestling, on Twitter at Inspire Pro Res.
All right, and you can find me at MadMike4AA3 on the Twitter machine. Also, if you like what we do on the Midweek War and you want to hear us talking more about the Midweek War stuff, well, guess what? There's a Twitter feed for you. If you go to @MayhemShow on the Twitter and you follow the hashtag MM, I live tweet just about all the shows that we do for the Midweek War, depending on how much sleep I decide I want to get. But definitely, I always do Impact and I always do Lucha Underground. NXT and ROH, if I can get to them and tweet at the same time, I tweet those as well. So, yeah, hit us up on there if you don't like what we have to say, or if you want to agree with what we have to say. Reply us. We respond. Trust me, we absolutely respond. All right. So for Eamon Paton, I'm Mad Mike, and this has been your Midweek War.